All right, we are recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another tier list video. Today, Oh, wow! I'm going to be going over all the games that I have completed in 2023, with the exception of one that I haven't, or actually two that I haven't completed. But for the most part, I've gotten like over 20 hours into, so I feel like that is a complete experience. I have played a lot of games this year, but these are the ones I've just most of them have finished, besides two. Um, and we're gonna start off the list with games that I've just completed this year that didn't come out this year, but that I just went back to and either replayed or experienced for the first time. Starting with the Hellboy video game that's right next to Red Dead Redemption. Those are all 2023 games, so if you only care about that, just skip to where I talk about Hellboy, and then I'll take it from there because past that, those are all 2023 games. But without further ado, let's get this list started. So I started playing Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 10 because I thought I was going to buy the new Mortal Kombat, but me paying that much for a fighting game isn't really worth it because I don't really play online. I mostly just play for the campaign or just to do arcade mode or something like that. So it's not really worth it to pay that much. So I'll probably wait a year or two for it to go down because in my head I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and then I remember, oh, this is the PlayStation 5 era where like games are like $70 to $80 on release. There's no way I'm doing that. And especially before all the DLC, like I'll wait for the ultimate version of anything. But this experience, I've only played this game once or twice. I remember playing Mortal Kombat 9 or the reboot of Mortal Kombat like a bunch when that first came out. I'm not particularly good at fighting games, but I like playing them. So I could play the campaign on this one. I thought, it's good. I like that Alien Predator is in there. Like that's fun for me. It has that less gen like grayness to it, and the Mortal Kombat stories, while fun, they're not like they're just filled with plot holes a lot of the time, and it's just kind of funny to laugh at and stuff. But oh, you know what? I didn't add that on the list, but I also completed the Mortal Kombat 11, I believe, the one with Spawn and stuff in that. I would put that if I were to put that anywhere it be, but I forgot to put it on this list. Um, but yeah, so uh, just be just because like the story is a little bit better and stuff like that. Whereas in Mortal Kombat 10, it's all right. But yeah, so maybe if the price goes down, I'll play Mortal Kombat 1. But I don't really know. I don't really have a huge desire. Mega Man Battle Network. This is part of technically a 2023 release, but it's literally just a port. So I'm gonna treat it as not a 2023 game. I've played all the Mega Man games from the collections that have been released. That includes the Zero collection. That includes Mega Man X. That includes Mega Man. I was really big into Mega Man in college. Like I was obsessed over those games because they're just so hard, but also very rewarding. Um, this one played kind of a generic RPG type, which is fine. You know, it's not it's just a lot of backtracking and stuff like that, like early RPGs. I mean, this game came out on the Game Boy, so it was obviously very limited. But I kind of want to go back to a RPG type of Mega Man game. Like, um, now I know this one, is the further games have a lot more stuff added to it to make the gameplay more fluid and less like jagged. I'm really bad at describing video games, but I did enjoy my time with this one. The story's okay or whatever. It's a kid's game, but yeah, like it's very much like it doesn't take itself too seriously. Um, Cold Steel 2, I liked quite a bit. I don't. Well, the problem with these games is like the gameplay is a lot of fun and the political intrigue and stuff like that. Like if you really pay attention to what's going on, it's really interesting and stuff. And some of the character work is good. Voice acting. Voice acting is pretty much like early 2000s anime, so expect a lot of like, oh my god, like all that stuff. And there's a lot of tropes in there, a lot of weird moments. But it's a good game, and I plan on completing Cold Steel 3 and 4 maybe this year. The problem is those games are like 40 to hours minimum. This was like a 40-hour minimum game. It's just like I don't have a lot of time on my hands, so I can only complete one of these games every once a year. You know, uh, they don't really have that like presentation that like we'll get into like a Baldur's Gate does or anything like that. Like this is very much budgeted like RPG thing, and sometimes it shows. So sometimes that glitz and glamour doesn't really want to make you play anymore, and a lot of filler dialogue. Oh my god, Jesus! But I still had a lot of fun time with it. God of War Ragnarok. We're gonna put this in S for now. See if that stays there. Yeah, this one's really good. Um, I will say not that the story is bad in this one, but if I were to compare the first God of War or the first reboot God of War, let's just call it the Norse mythology God of War. So the Norse God of War, the very first one, I would put story on top of this one, but gameplay wise, Ragnarok is an improvement on the 2018 version of the game. I really do like this one. The gameplay elements are really fun, especially the spear. Like the spear is so like once you master that, it's game over for anyone else, and the power ups and everything like that. Atreus, the only part where the game dragged with is with Atreus and the little girl that he hangs out with in that wilderness universe. I played this game at like the beginning of the year, so I don't remember all the plot details. However, the free DLC is a lot of fun. It's a roguelike basically, and it's challenging. I actually, my girlfriend was upstairs, and I got so mad at one point that I just kept banging my desk like this, and then she was like, "Did you hear that? Is that okay?" I'm like, "No, that was just my rage. Sorry, you can go back to bed." So, yeah, but like frustrating, but like in a it's your fault kind of way. Like I wasn't dodging properly, I wasn't parrying properly. It was all completely my fault. So it's not to the game's fault. But yeah, like these new God of War games are very, very good. And I used to have the opinion that like like what the current creator has, or not the current creator, but the former creator of Kratos, which is like, oh, I like my Kratos like just a bloodthirsty monster. I don't want him to be like a parent or something. Once you complete these games, then it's like, oh yeah. I just got mad at the first one because I wasn't any good at the gameplay really. So I was like, oh yeah, it's just stupid. But now that I obviously replayed it, and it took a while for me to get into this, the new God of Wars. It took a little bit, but I finally got around to it. I believe I played this one right after I played the 2018 God of War, and then immediately picked up this one. But this one I picked up at the beginning of the year. That's why this is on the list and that one's not. But anyways, Shadow of the Colossus. This game is so fucking fun. I almost want to put it in S. You know what? I'm gonna put it on top of A and then see where we're at with S. See if I want to move that around. I played this recently. God, this game, like they pretty much only updated from what I could see, the visuals of the game. But like this game is just so fun, and I kind of want to replay it really bad now that like basically, there's no like minions or anything. You just have to find where the Colossus is, and that's the level is figuring out their weakness and stuff like that, and dying a bunch of times trying to figure out that weakness. But once you figure it out, then it's great. It took me about 6, maybe 5 or 6 hours, which I love that time span for a game. Oh my god, I wish games were a lot shorter. Um, but like just for my sake, I know people pay a lot of money. Like $60 for maybe a 10-hour game isn't worth it for a lot of people. But I appreciate short time span sometimes. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is just such unique, and like we still haven't. I mean, Zelda, like the new Zeldas, have kind of taken the formula of just explore and bump into where you need to go kind of thing. But Shadow of the Colossus really like laid down the foundation for that, at least from what I've seen and experienced. And yeah, no, this game is so much fun. If you haven't picked it up, it's probably like $10 on the PlayStation Store at this point, especially with their sale going on. Definitely pick this up. It's 100% worth it. And the replay comes in like you get little perks after you complete the story, that you can use, or you could just do time runs and see how fast you can defeat bosses. Like if there's nothing else to play, I'll like do a time trial for some of the bosses and stuff because they were really fun. Especially that last boss fight. That got me both furious and like exhilarated too. It was really good. So I played the remastered version of Spider-Man for PS4 on my PS5 in preparation for Spider-Man 2. I started Miles Morales but wasn't able to finish it on time, so that's why it's not on the list. Um, but this one, I mean, this one is. Oh, but what do I put it? Yeah, I'll have to see how I feel about two in the moment. But yeah, the first Spider-Man, I mean, introduction to like new swinging mechanics, a lot of fun. The story is definitely better than two. We'll get into two. But like, yeah, no, this Spider-Man game is so much fun, and it's one of those games that's an easy 100% complete. Like, um, and when I was replaying this, I literally was doing side missions as they appeared, just like I did with the new game. That's why it took me like 20 hours to complete. Um, but yeah, no, I mean the combat's fun. You know, I feel like since Arkham, like superhero games are just like adventure games with that kind of like um, mechanic in general. You know, dodge and attack kind of thing. Like this game really perfected it. Um, and yeah, no, it's still a good looking game on the PS5. The PS5 remastered is really good, and yeah, I love it. Skyrim. I went on my eighth playthrough of Skyrim. Skyrim is just a classic. You know, I'm gonna go a little controversial here. You know, it started Ocarina of Time, if you know what I mean. You know, people say Ocarina of Time is the best game of all time, and it's like you play it now, and that's definitely not the case. And I argued with my co-host over at Black Hudson Productions on our live stream on the Zelda tier list that like Ocarina deserves to be in like a B tier, maybe C tier, just because like the game has not aged well. I mean, when people think of it highly, it's because they grew up on the game, and I understand, but like there are better Zelda games out there. Like Breath of the Wild is a better game than Ocarina, you know. And if you want to call that the greatest game of all time, sure, that's fine. But like Ocarina now is dated, and I feel like Skyrim is slowly getting there, especially with like Starfield. Now I haven't played Starfield personally, but a lot of people say like Bethesda isn't making an effort to break the molds of like the standard and like the dialogue and like gameplay that they normally do. It's just like Bethesda refuses to change. So like I don't know, that kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth. Skyrim is still a very fun game to play, especially when you have nothing to do. Just start up a new profile, and then whenever you're bored, just go back to that profile and play it. I've completed the game like 8 times at this point. Um, but yeah, it is showing its age a little bit. It's still a great game, still top of A, but it is showing its age quite a bit. Uh, Evil West was okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put this D. Um, it was trying to be like God of War, but not really. And the presentation wasn't great. So, well, with my version on the PlayStation 5, at least, it wasn't great performance wise. It was still a decent game. I wouldn't call it a bad game, but I don't know. Like the story didn't intrigue me. It was just kind of trying to be God of War, but less. So, yeah, I mean, if the gameplay looks interesting to you and stuff, go ahead. But there wasn't really much to keep me in besides it being such a short game that I felt obligated to finish it. But yeah, and then we'll get into the Resi games, at least the two older Resi games. I hate horror games. Like they scare the like I can watch any horror movie, analog horror, I love it. But like if I'm put in a POV and I'm controlling a character in like a video game, like I'm scared shitless like all of the time. It took a lot out of me to finish Alien Isolation because I was such a wussy. But I did complete Biohazard, aka Resident Evil 7. I think this is a really good game. Oh my god, the A tier is getting real heavy. But that's okay. That's okay because it deserves it. Because I play nothing but good games, I guess. um, yeah. Scary, fucking terrifying. And then it's really scary in the beginning, but then toward the latter half, it's still scary, but you're more so intrigued by the plot. But like that first half of the game, you're just terrified 24/7, just going around the house. and stuff like that. It's fucking terrifying. I never played any of the DLC. Maybe I'll get to it eventually, but yeah, I could play the main story, and my god, Resident Evil 2. I'm gonna put this above 7, dude. Resident Evil 2. You know what? I might even. We'll change around S for a little bit, but like, oh my god. So I played. I think Claire's comes first, then Leon's story, and then I was like, oh, this is a lot of puzzle solving, man. Like, oof. But I was still having fun with it, and like, it still had though. It's more. It's scary, but not as scary as like Resident Evil 7. But like once you start that second playthrough with a different character, let's just say Leon, then you know where everything is. Then like Mr. X gets more aggressive. It's just really, really cool to see. And like I have gone back a couple times doing time trials to see how fast I can complete the campaign and stuff. And yeah, it's just a fun game that you can replay all the time. The story was intriguing. And yeah. Last of Us is I'm talking the first Last of Us. This isn't the remastered Part 1 edition. This was like the PS4 remastered edition. Jesus Christ, they remade the game 2 times. Oh my god. God, where do I put this? Because I've always said Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely one of my favorite story games of all time, and I love the gameplay. So I think I'm hyping myself up to do. It's still so good though. Like, I know. Some people say, "Oh, the gameplay is not as good." I love the gameplay. It's so simplified. The backpack system is incredibly clever. The crafting system isn't some complex bullshit. Like, it's just quick and easy. Doing this on hard mode is like the only way to play the game, really, because like if you play on any difficulty lesser than that, then like you're just kind of there for the story, which is fine. If you just want to experience the story, that's fine. But yeah, this game is a classic. That ending is one of the most powerful video game endings of all time, and then it gets ruined in the second one. But not for what you think it is. Not because a female lead or whatever. I'm just not a fan of how. You know what? Look at Nikki Jakey's video on The Last of Us Part 2. That's my opinion on it. Because it's not. I don't like Abby, but it's not because of the reactionary, like, oh, she's mostly lady. Like, it's not because of that. It's literally just because I think her character is insufferable. But yeah. Yeah, Last of Us is a classic. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely on top of those two. That might be controversial. That might be a hot take, but I feel like The Last of Us, like, it did so much for gaming, but that it's not an Ocarina of Time where anything's really dated. Like, I don't feel like the gameplay's dated at all. If anything, it's just gotten better over the years. Last of Us 2 actually has way better gameplay, but the story's not all there, so I wouldn't necessarily put that in S, but Last of Us is like the perfect mixture. Then we got Red Dead Redemption. This is such a good game. Oh my god. I can't believe I missed the train on Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played 2 yet, but this one is so much fucking fun. I'm going to put the... yeah. Dude, Red Dead Redemption is so fucking fun. It's just fun being a cowboy and stuff. I've never really liked the Rocksteady games. Like, Grand Theft Auto never really... Like, I played 5. Obviously, everyone has played 5. But Red Dead is definitely more my speed than 5 is. So I'm kind of excited to play Red Dead 2 eventually. But yeah, no, this game is so fucking fun. You just do whatever you want. And I love that. Just like put on a playlist and just do whatever you want. The story's intriguing, tragic ending, which I won't spoil, but in case you haven't played it, because you should play this. Obviously, I played the port of it. I waited till it was on sale and stuff. But like, if you've never experienced Red Dead, don't feel bad about buying the port version. But if you already have it on like PS3, then I wouldn't. And you still have your PS3 or Xbox, I wouldn't recommend buying the PS4 or PS5 port. But if you've never played it before, go ahead. But yeah, like Red Dead Redemption, such a good game. Still really good, solid gameplay. I love it. 10 out of 10. All right. Yeah. Hellboy was just... I loved the visuals of it. It was like... It looked directly on Mike Mignola's like sketchbook. Like, it was fantastic. The story just wasn't there. It was a short-ass game. the gameplay was very janky. Like you try to do something and then something else happens, and it's not great. Definitely wait for this to go on sale. And yeah, I mean, I love the presentation of this game. The presentation is grade A+, like 10 out of 10. But the gameplay is just like not, or the story is not there. So really, it's just a presentation that's really good. I still completed it because I'm a Hellboy fan and I loved all the little Easter eggs and characters that only really show up in the comics, not even the movies and stuff. The movies are completely different from the comics. They're still good, but yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll get a good Hellboy game one of these days. We'll get a good, solid Hellboy game, but today is not that day. Oh, Spider-Man 2. Oh, I don't know. Because I was really hyped about this game, and I still like the story. Mm, yeah, I'll put it above the PS4 Spider-Man. I'll put it above that. I just have some issues toward the latter half of the game. Felt very rushed. I won't spoil anything because there still might be people playing it and stuff. Um, I mean, I love all the gameplay improvements. All the gameplay improvements are leagues above better than the PS4 one, and the swinging mechanics and the web wings, awesome, fantastic. I love traveling around the city. It's just some of the side missions were met, and like my main complaint is that they gave Miles the side shit and didn't really evolve him in the main plot. They did in some sense, but like that was only toward the latter half of the game. Otherwise, it was like more community based stuff, which is fine, and that could be part of the main plot. But none of it really tied into the overarching plot, that being Peter's plot. Um, but apparently, Miles is going to be the mainline Spider-Man from now on for Insomniac, so he's going to be the main focus, which is good, and I think it needs that because the way this game leads off with Peter, like I think that's a smart move. Not saying Peter will probably make an appearance again. Let's not be mistaken. But as far as main story goes, they're saying that Miles Morales is going to be the main Spider-Man, which I think is great. The suits are really good in this. Some of them are questionable, like that Night Monkey suit. I can't fucking like. Why is that there? There could have been so many others better suits, and I was rocking that classic comic book Secret Wars Spider-Man outfit. That I didn't take that thing off. Um, However, like it didn't come with a new game plus mode, so I'll only play it once the update comes in. I don't know when that's coming in, but I'll play it again eventually with like all the suits. And they gotta allow like the cutscenes with the black costume. Like I understand story wise, I still want to see the Tobey Maguire black suit in the cutscenes. I don't know why they didn't do that because they didn't seem to have a problem with that with the PS4 version. Um, Maybe they did it on official release, but at least with the remastered version, the costume you're in is the costume you're in. Besides the um, Doctor Octopus fight toward the end. Okay, Resident Evil 4. Ooh. Ooh. Where am I putting this? Hmm. I think I'll put it. Yeah. Resident Evil 4 was awesome. The remake was fantastic. Fixed a lot of issues with the first game. Um, and it's not just a simple remaster. The game is completely redone and stuff like that. It was just a roller coaster ride through and through. Very linear, but that's okay. You know, not every game needs to be open world and stuff. And still presented a challenge like that fucking cabin fight where the zombies are just coming in nonstop. Holy shit! Like, anger inducing. But yeah, this game is like nearly perfect. Like, it's awesome. I just like I'm just kind of tired of the zombie stuff, you know, and like I like the Norse mythology type of feel. That's why I would put like God of War above Resident Evil 4, the remake at least. But that's just a personal preference. And I feel like I enjoyed myself a lot more with Ragnarok. Uh, Resident Evil 4 is a good time, but like it didn't attack me emotionally, whereas like God of War Ragnarok attacked me emotionally. So, yeah, that's why I would put that there, and I think it is better than 2. Um, I haven't done any speed runs, but like it's definitely really good. Although the games are pretty much on par, honestly. They're pretty much tied in the placements that they are in, but I just like older Leon more. He's more corny. Ooh, Final Fantasy 16. I have a lot of conflicted feelings because I realize this new modern era Final Fantasy, we're not doing the turn base. I love the turn base. We're not doing the turn base anymore. I just have to come to terms with that. Like I just have to accept that. Um, Final Fantasy 16. Mm, mm. Okay, there's a ton of faults, right? There's a ton of like huge asterisks, and it's just because I am a Final Fantasy simp, okay? Because if you want to put it in B, you could put it in B. You're totally validated. Um, but Final Fantasy 16, I really did enjoy the story quite a bit. And the gameplay is pretty much hack and slash stuff, but that's only because I did the side missions alongside. I'm trying to justify this to myself, but that's only because I did the side missions along the way, which made like if you do any of the side missions before the main plot, you're good, you're fine. That boss, although the boss fight is challenging and fun though. I like this game. I like this game. Is that a crime? Am I a criminal? Am I a criminal for putting that above Spider-Man 2? I mean, as you could tell, I'm a huge comic book fan as well. I mean, I mean, recent Miles Morales, Green Arrow, I don't really feel like turning the camera or whatever. But like, I read comics too. I am. You don't ever say I'm not a comic book movie or a comic book fan. I read the comics. That's right. I read comics. I don't just watch the movie. I read comics. Don't come at me with that. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Also, don't fucking come at me with that. I swear to God, I'll fucking. I got. What do I got right here, baby? Spider-Man 2099, and I got one of the Eric Larson covers for Venom. So don't. Oh no. Oh no. What are we doing? This video is chaotic. Oh my God. Now, some of you may have thought, Jack, you should have just laid that down and not spent a whole minute and a half trying to put that back up. But you know what I say to that? Moving on. Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, Final Fantasy 16 is really, I love the ending and I love the characters. It's not the best Final Fantasy game, though. Like, if I had a couple other Final Fantasy games, I'd definitely rank it under. But Final Fantasy games are just always really good, no matter what. Besides maybe like 13 and arguably 15, but I still like 15. I just got to go back and complete it. I haven't completed that one. But yeah, no, this game is like really mainline Final Fantasy for mainline gamers because a lot of people aren't going to pay like $60 for a turn-based game. It's just unfortunate. It's just the world we live in. But yeah, well, besides Baldur's Gate, but we'll get to that. Final Fantasy 16, great story. Buy it if it's on sale. Yeah. Armored Core is the mech game of my dreams. There's not a lot of story there, so that's why I'm putting it down there. It's mostly gameplay and building your mech, but at like just pure fun. It's so fucking fun, man. It's so good. And as long as you get past that first level, it's hard. You're gonna die a lot. You're gonna die a lot in this game. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. But like God, when you get like your perfect build for a certain boss or for a certain mission, and you just go right through the enemies, like it is so fucking fun. It just lacks story. There's just no real substance there. It's just a fun game to play, kind of thing. But like God, is it ever fucking fun? And the easiest From Software game too. But oh my God, like. Oh, and like you could customize your color. I rocked the Ava colors, Ava Unit 1 colors for the longest time. Then I switched over to like a Gun of Barbados type of build. But like, oh my God, this game is so fucking fun. But yeah. All right, now we got Baldur's Gate 3. Now I haven't completed the game. I will say though, it does take it on top of the S tier. The game's long as shit. Okay, it's gonna be like I just got over part 1. Okay, I just got there and I've spent 30 hours in the fucking game. Don't fucking at me. But god damn, this game is so fun, and it really is challenging. But especially because I'm not used to those types of like turn-based games. But like, God, it's just so much fun, and like, the dating mechanics. Every fucking RPG and game should have a dating mechanic all the time, every time. If you don't, then I don't know why you're making an RPG. Persona 5 proved that people will buy a Japanese RPG just to date their waifus, okay? So, like, I don't understand the difficult. I don't understand what's hard to comprehend here. Every game should have a romance system, no matter what. Except if there's, like, minors involved, obviously. But, I don't know why I had to clarify that. As long as you base it in college, then it's fine. But, like, if it's a bunch of teenagers, like, get it out of here. And Baldur's Gate 3, these are grown men and women, trust me there. But yeah, no, Baldur's Gate 3 is like, oh, it's so fucking good. And I haven't even finished it. It's so good. And Shadowheart is my girl. Oh, I love her. I love that she hates me, but I love her. Yeah, but Baldur's Gate 3 is awesome. The gameplay is spectacular. Just building your character is so fucking fun. It's great. It's great. 10 out of 10. Awesome. Amazing. Been in development for years, and like the developers just nailed every single score, acting, story, gameplay. Everything is just wow, muy bien. It's what games should become. Now I know me saying that a lot of AAA games, they're on Crime Punch. Baldur's Gate 3 had the benefit of having a lot of years to develop. A lot of AAA games don't, but it's still a really good standard, and as long as no one's getting overworked and they're able to accomplish it, 10 out of 10, great. All right, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, this is going up here. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best Zelda game. I just didn't finish like one temple, but I haven't gone back to the game for a while. But I have 40 plus hours into it. Just like discovering the underneath, like the underground area, and just lighting all that up and stuff, and just upgrading Link and stuff. It's just so good. And the characters, like when you just like talk to a random character, go on a random side mission, like it's just so rich. And oh god, I love it. I love it so much. It doesn't change that much besides like the building mechanics and stuff that's thrown in there, but it's pretty much the same map, so I can understand complaints from there. Like if you don't like Breath of the Wild, you're not gonna like this, and it's okay if you don't like Breath of the Wild. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, oh, very good. Super Mario RPG remake, God, we are getting an A tier heavy. But you know what? I've played nothing but this just goes to show I've played nothing but good games this year. I would put this. Yeah, I put it like no. No, wait. I'm screwing up. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, yeah, fuck it. No. Yeah, I think that's fine. Super Mario RPG the remake. So like more RPGs need to be only 12 hours long. More RPGs need to do this because then I would actually complete them. Yeah, it's just so much fun, so cute. The presentation is great, and I just pretty much finished it in like 2 to 3 days. It's just a lot of fun. Just very simple game mechanics, but making it still like where you're at the edge of your seat, like oh my god, like what's gonna happen next, kind of thing. Like this is great. This is one of the better Square Enix games, or I believe they were SquareSoft back then. But yeah, like this is just a classic RPG. Throw this in front of anyone and they can play it easily. It's really, really accessible. It's not like, Trails of Cold Steel 2 or anything like that. Like pop it in, you're playing it. It's easy and accessible, and it's just a lot of fun. But there is still challenge in it. Yeah, Mario Wonder, I thought it was okay. It's just another 2D Mario. I honestly like 3D Land a lot better. Like I like it a lot better than this one. Like the only like there's a couple additional power ups, but you're the elephant for a lot of the time, and it's just I don't know. Like, it's another 2D Mario. Not to say that that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's like nothing's really changed. Now I'm much more a 3D Mario fan, so I just want to say that up front. than a 2D Mario fan. I mean, it's still fun, but it's just like, I don't know. Sea of Stars. I'll put this like right below Final Fantasy 16. It's a really good fucking game. It's got Chrono Trigger vibes. Um, it's just so fun and easy to pick up and play, and the art style is beautiful. The story is beautiful. Um, a little long. I wish it was like more like 12 hours besides like 20. Like it overstays its welcome a little bit, but it's still quite good. So that's my list for the games I've completed in 2023 besides Baldur's Gate and Zelda, which made it on top of the list. But those are like 60+ hour games. Like I'm just one man. I know I'm gonna finish them eventually. Just give me time, but I have no time. But like I feel like if you put 40+ hours into a game, you can judge it even if you haven't completed it. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out my top book videos as well that just came out. I really appreciate the support, guys. I will be coming out with an update video eventually. I'm just still trying to settle into the new home and everything like that. But I do appreciate whoever subscribed or watched these videos or watched my videos. I really do appreciate it. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.